Hey guys, welcome to part one of our Break the Ice interview with Gareth Scourfield, a London-based menswear stylist who started his career at GQ, British GQ, and later went on to be the style director at the Jackal magazine. He has huge celebrity clients, from Madden to Taron Egerton, Daniel Craig, Sir Ian McKellen, Michael Sheen, and so many others. In part one of this interview, we find out where his love for style and fashion originated from, what every man should know in terms of style, what it's like putting together an outfit for a celebrity client, and some advice for up-and-coming stylists. Be sure to subscribe to our channel if you want to see part two of this interview. Otherwise, sit back, relax, and enjoy this awesome interview with the wonderful Gareth Scourfield. There we go. There we go. How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good, good. This is cool, isn't it? Isn't it cool that we can do this?
Yes, I know. I know the moderns of the new way of working, I suppose, communicating.
Let's break the ice. Do you have a drink with you?
I do. It's not terribly interesting. It's orange juice and sparkling water. It was a little. I almost went for the alcohol, but it was just a touch too early.
Well,
even though it's bank holiday Friday. Yeah, I know. Well, it's bank holiday weekend, isn't it? So,
it is. So I just figured, it's 5 p.m. somewhere in the world, so I have my glass of wine.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Cheers.
Cheers.
We like to always start at the beginning. So where did your love for fashion and style originate from?
It was really at college, I suppose. I mean, I've always been interested in art, and that's literally from school age. So I went to art college after my A-levels. And I suppose it was while I was at art college, I did an art foundation course. And my work just sort of led me more into sort of design and more sort of figurative stuff. And I was always interested in sort of textiles and texture and things like that. And my lecturer then said, you know, we've got a fashion degree course starting at the college, and I think you'd be really, really good for it. It involved photography, journalism, and sort of promotion, PR, marketing, all that kind of other stuff that surrounds the fashion industry. And that's really what truly sparked my interest, I suppose. It was getting onto a new course, and that's when I started to find my sort of love in menswear.
Yeah, well, that leads me on to the next question. Why menswear? What was it that sparked that interest?
I think it was, I mean, other than purely selfish reasons, obviously. I think it was a moment in time, we're talking probably early mid-90s, that Britain, the UK itself, was this really amazing catalyst for art and culture and style. And fashion was part of it, and menswear was really just emerging at that point in the context of what was going on in Britain. So we had all the kind of Britpop going on, and then we had the young British artists kind of movement, and I think all the kind of music and art was feeding into fashion, and particularly on the menswear side. So whilst you had sort of GQ and Esquire, very established men's titles, you know, new titles such as FHM and Loaded, and then you had ID and The Face. It was really diverse, and it started to really fracture. And so there was all these little subcultures coming along, and it just felt a really interesting time in menswear. And a lot of the big designers that have now got obviously well-established menswear were only just beginning to start launching their menswear. And so I just felt it was a really interesting time to get involved in that side of the industry.
Very interesting. I love this industry. I love the creative industry as a whole. So it definitely, you know, I just love hearing stories about it. And so from there you went on to work at GQ, and then your career just kind of took off. I mean, you worked very hard, but what was that experience like, I suppose, as a youngster going into a company, a brand such as GQ, and having to pave your way?
Well, it was a pretty good place to start.
Yeah, I mean, pretty good.
It was good. I did some work experience at the Sunday Times Style before that, so I got a sense of what it was to be like on a fashion desk, and it was just really exciting. I think if anyone's got interest in that creative field, to be in that environment where you're speaking and dealing with photographers and designers and brands and model agencies and hair and makeup. It's a whole team effort of this sort of creative bubble going on. And so, yes, I started at GQ, really, again, work experience, and held sort of a work experience role there for a good sort of 9 months, 6 months longer than I should have been there for.
Yeah.
But it was a fantastic time. The energy on the magazine was great. There was so much richness going on culturally that no day was the same, let alone week. So it just felt anything was kind of possible. And doable. And so you work hard, but you're also like a sponge. You're absorbing all this kind of information from incredibly sort of talented people that are kind of in your vicinity. So I left GQ after 9 months, and I went and did a stint in PR for 9 months, which I just did not like. I think PR and I just didn't get on very well with each other, but I have a huge now appreciation of that side of the industry. And then GQ called me back and offered me a job, which was fantastic. And then, so yeah, I was there for 5 years at Condé Nast, and did my time and grafted away and learned a lot. And then I got called across to go and join Esquire.
How much planning goes into one outfit, and can you take us through the process? Like an outfit, that you're going to be styling for someone on the red carpet. How does that process begin?
Well, it begins with a conversation with the talent, with the actor, and then really it's always a collaborative process with my clients. So it's finding their comfort zones, what they generally will gravitate towards. So I'll make sure that when I'm presenting a rail of clothes to them, that I do have those points of interest, but those points that they feel comfortable in going towards. And that could be down to a color or a particular way a suit's cut. But there'll always be something on the rail I think, I want to push a little bit more. Well, not saying me push, but it's about presenting something a little bit different that then you want to push them a little bit beyond their boundaries. And sometimes that's a question of just putting it on. Not all these clothes have an amazing hanger appeal, so sometimes it's literally getting off the hanger and trying it on. And my job is to bring something kind of interesting and perhaps a bit different, or sometimes it's the combination about how you're putting an outfit together. So you got to have choice. There's definitely got to be options on that rail. So it takes a bit of time because you're working between brands and designers. You're working then with tailors to make sure that they're on standby, that jackets, trousers and things can be altered, or shirts, cuffs be changed or whatever. And then part of the process as well, with some of my clients, we've had made to measure work done, and sometimes the schedule will allow for that timeline. So we choose fabrics, we'll work out some designs and sketches.
Oh, that's quite fun, isn't it?
That is a really fun part of the job, because then that that individual is getting something pretty unique to them. So they get to choose the fabric and the buttons and stitching, and often it's monogrammed or something inside. So it's a really nice personal touch.
So what is one thing every man should get right in terms of style?
I would say it has to be fit.
Okay.
Fit's the number one thing. I have seen too many guys just, it can be a beautiful piece of clothing, whether it's a tailored jacket or even a pair of jeans, and generally you can't go too wrong with jeans, or so you would think. But I've seen some pretty bad jeans.
Yeah.
So I think you've got to understand your body shape. Yes, of course, you've got to try and experiment a little bit to find what works for you. And then I think really you've got to home in on those brands and those pieces in your wardrobe that really work for you, that make you feel good. Obviously they're comfortable, they're functional. But yeah, it fits the number one thing. And I think it doesn't matter what kind of budget you're working on. You can buy literally a, off the peg high street jacket or shirt or whatever it is. Just go that extra mile and spend that extra few pounds on getting it tailored. Anything badly fitting, I just think looks terrible. It doesn't really come down to what's trendy and what's fashionable and stylish and are you wearing the latest color or fabric? All of that is irrelevant, because if what you're wearing and the fits, the sleeves are way too short, or the trousers are way too tight.
Yeah, it just doesn't work, does it?
You start looking at the silhouette of how the guy is looking, and it's all over the place, and it just doesn't look very good.
If I am an up and coming stylist and I want to get to where you are now in your career, which obviously happened over a number of years, it didn't just happen overnight. Nothing happens overnight. Is there a step-by-step process, or is it just a hell of a lot of hard work, right connections, who you know, and a little bit of luck?
I'd say probably all of the above.
All of it.
but we live very much in a very different landscape to when I first started in menswear and magazine world. What I'd say to the, stylists today, young or old, because again the demographic can be pretty wide, be prepared for hard work, come with an opinion, come ready to tell a story, your own story, your sense of your viewpoint. Definitely reach out, with the likes of Instagram now and LinkedIn and all these amazing sociable channels that we can contact each other on. Reach out to photographers. Again, there's young photographers or hair and makeup or a new model. They're also looking, the thing about this world, it's very collaborative, and I think post lockdown it's going to be even more so. So I think now's the moment to monopolize on reaching out. It might be a young photographer that needs a stylist to start shooting some tests. How that will shape up in the current moment,
we don't know.
Sure. We don't know. But it's really being super vigilant, super hard worker. You should be the first to arrive, the last to leave.
Yes.
Don't let anything go unchecked. Just go that extra mile, and start doing stuff for yourself, and learn and watch and listen. And it's going to take some persistence. I know when I even first started, the amount of letters I was writing left, right, and centre. And you have to keep at it. An actor or a script writer or a hair and makeup person, you're going to get knockbacks and you're going to get told no and whatever. So you've just got to circumnavigate around that. And if you're really determined to make it, you're going to find a way in. It might not always be the obvious way in either, but suddenly that opportunity will arise, and I think hopefully they'll see it when it does and grab it.
Yeah, I love that. Persistence is everything. And I know just from my own life, that's something I've really had to learn and take on and realize that it might not look like the way that you always thought your life was going to go and the one road. You might do this, but if you keep at it and you have the positive attitude and the mindset and the work ethic, and you do what you need to do, it will most likely get you there eventually. Completely. I think it's the can-do attitude, and I think challenge is good. I think whether that's in the pursuit of what you want to do as a career or just everyday challenges that come up in your life and work, I think overcoming those challenges is a really good life skill to then sort of take forward.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more inspirational videos just like this, then don't forget to subscribe, which you can do by clicking right over here. Also leave us a comment in the section below and tell us who you guys would like us to break the ice with next.